อยากให้ไฟแดงนานกว่านี้เนาะ
ระดับหนึ่งเลยแหละการแข่งขันระดับ
บูม
เปิดใจได้ค่ายมาไล่ให้หมด
แคนามีเองพวกเขาก็ทำได้
สำหรับผู้ชมที่ชมอยู่ตอนนี้นะครับอย่าลืมกดไลค์กด Subscribe Channel ให้ด้วยนะครับและติดตามการสตรีมของผมได้ที่ sooflight.com ครับลิงก์อยู่ด้านล่างครับ Let's go Talon มาละบัฟให้ละBut did they like it? Because we know that they really don't want the Reina on for Meteor anymore, and he'll opt for the Killjoy, of course.
I do get a little bit worried. Remember last week when 10-10 just dropped in, Talon was thoroughly surprised, shocked, stunned, shocked Pikachu face. Now this is a new composition as well. They're still going to run their game plan though, sneaking under.
Meteor though, dispatching of Jim Boys.
บัฟให้ไงนี่ไงมาแล้วไง
แล้ว
ได้วางไปแล้วครับทีเผลอวางแบบทีเผลอ
ที่นั่นเขาเล่นแลนด์เขาจะซื้อเวนอ่ะโคตรปู่มันได้ซื้อที่แลนด์บ้าง
If he drops, then no more salvos then. But of course, you got Primi hidden into deep positions as well. Buzz trying to sneak up from behind.
กูชอบ
Yeah, but you got to look to try and get on this defuse now. Izu with the salvos available, going to keep Primi hot under the collar and the time.
โอ้โหพอสกินครับโอ้โหพิมมี่เอาก่อนเลยละกันครับสกินพิมมี่
as well, which means the pistol round here goes for T1.
Yeah, they were both holding out towards Snowman. I mean, working around the information that they had, but when Buzz finally showed up and down to the kills and also the utility coming in, just felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Icebox for T1 is a bit of a sore map recently. Right? You look towards the loss against RRQ, the loss against Team Secret. They managed to get the win against Nongshim, of course, but it does feel, like it's not that comfortable of a map. I mean, you got to look at what tape was there from the history of them playing it this year as well, and there's a lot of elements that a team could draw upon. So I wonder, coming in towards today for Talon, of course, them not opting to ban it, for example, floating it, and then getting the option to pick it, were they expecting and having all their prep ready for, countering Chamber, countering Reina? Or were they maybe thinking that there would be some sort of change up to come through for T1? And of course, now Quack, they do have to just adapt mid-game to this.
That certainly is the title of the story for now. Already see some of the very deliberate salvos from before meant to flush potential Jet or Chamber players off of yellow. But right now, at least, you got the spike snuck in. They had some nasty dinks as well. Primi finding a shot onto Izu, but afterwards, you got T1 just able to advance forward from this yellow position to watch the angles. Cruz attempting with the darts, but they don't quite land all the way forward. Just on towards a halfway stuck defuse, and with the kills coming over, yeah, T1 happy to collect.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the things, though, that Talon are going to have up their sleeve, I do feel like, for their agent lineup. They've actually a lot of destructive utility. Like, you think about the nanos from Jit Boys, the salvos from Killua, you think about the shock darts from Cruz, but there's also, you got to remember that even though Viper got nerfed, right, there still technically is a snake bite that you can throw into it, specifically if you're holding the poison orb and not deploying it for something like a mid-cross, for example, for Thai, which is quite common on a map like Icebox, right? So I'm thinking
สำคัญครับ Talon Come on boy Come on boy Come on boy Talon Come on boy
Hunter's Fury could be deadly as well. Cruz is 1 point away from that thing. Salvos traded so far.
You start to establish a little bit of forward positions towards the
เฮียแพ้แล้วว่ะดูสกินพิมมี่ดิ
from your opponents, namely
ไม่ครับ
เฮียรู้แต่เฮียมากเลยสัตว์
dart utilized by stacks as well, or rather the
จะเฮียแล้วก็แล้วแต่เลย
บัตเป็นไรเฮ้ย
Also for Talon, just hold the positions for now. Might not be fully aware of this outlaw.
เล่นคอมเฮียเนี่ย
Specifically when this angle was already cleared by the salvos, but they are making sure they're not getting exposed towards this line until I say that, and Jit Boys just walks in straight in front of it.
Not dead though.
No.
เพื่อนกูไปแล้ว
HP. Still really close to it. Thai still trying to lurk around.
Yep.
Cause some havoc.
Trying to do his best Meteor impression, one might say. With a bit of a change up, specifically when you think of Viper and Meteor on the likes of Split, for example. But Jit Boys start off, die to double down.
โอ้สกิลลั่นสกิลโอ้รัวมาจัดรวมไม่เสียงเบาเลย
Killua to continue pushing forward. 2 more kills to his name. Meteor then flooding back in, but it's just
ตายน้อยๆนะเรานี่ต้องตายน้อยนะ
See what damage, if at all any, can be delivered now with an upgrade on the Guardian.
Elevated angle from Primi. Ooh.
พิมมี่ดิดูพิมมี่
Maybe reacted a little bit too early. Meteor was quick to sidestep that one. Knows that he has dropped down as well. He's looking for the Guardian shots, but
อุ้ย
Primi
เชี่ยพิ
just
มมี่
being able to stutter step back
เฮ้ย
and forth.
เฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ย
He
ไอ้
would
สัต
have
ว์เหลือ
lost
สิ
his
บ
life to
เฮ้ย
that
เฮ้ย
one, so
เฮ้ย
he definitely needed to make sure he got
Hey.
out of dodge there. Cruz
เฮ้ยกะเอาคิวไงกะเอาคิว
ill-advised. But hey, Talon, they managed to answer back on the bonus round in a flawless variety as well, which does mean that we're going to see the probably fourth legs of T1 to see what their defensive side is going to look like. But this is an interesting series, Quack. I want to start to, you know,
โอ้ยเหี้ยโคตรเร็
look
ว
towards the later end of the map in the series, of course, but this is a bit of a hype one where the ball is in Talon's court, right? If they win this, they're in. If they lose this, they need Zeta Division to beat Nongshim to then also get into the
อย่าดี
playoffs.
นะบอก
But
ไม่บอก
that's
กัน
the
ล่วง
scenario that their playoffs
มันนั้นหนึ่ง
chances
คิว
are
นะ
in another
ฟรี
team's hands.
Which is also just a really weird scenario nonetheless, but
Yeah.
it's still going to have to be a win from Talon. So straight into the B site now. You got a full 4 stack.
อยู่ดิ
Cruz
สวยแล้ว
walks
ไง
back.
แม่ง
He
สวย
does
แล้ว
have
ไง
punish
แม่ง
through
โดนไล่
the
แม่ง
team
โดนไล่
muted as well.
แม่ง
Look
โด
at
น
the
เล่น
แหว
ไวน
ขึ้น
กับ
แหวน
ไก่
เอ้ยบนล่างเรียบร้อย โดน
Bring down the timer.
โอ้
2. As the curtain falls, it's going to be Primi who gets taken out.
The bait.
อุ๊ยตายเดิน
But look
ดี
at this wrap around at the moment. Thai
อุ๊ย
looking
ตายเดิน
for a
ดี
second one onto its stacks. Gets cut
ไม่
down
ไหว
sides.
ไม่
A
ไหว
minute to go. And the
เฮ้ย
spike
แตะ
is
โห
going
ด
to
จัง
start
วะ
to rotate towards the
แต่เป็น
A
คน
อุ้ย
side
แล้ว
of
ดู
things.
จิตบอยดิ
Of course, a mechanic in this game, right?
Lurk
Toxic
hả?
Strain
Thích lurk
falls
hả?
from above, so he saw the top
Sai
player
lười đấy,
first.
lười mới thấy
Trying
con
to
lurk.
move crosshair
Lurk
up there, and then
tay
you've got
hay.
the bottom player that gets you. Just a
ภาพจัดเลยว่ะจิต
awkward scenario there for Primi, unfortunately, and now we need to just see some
จิตยังซ้ายยังไม่เคลีย
good
ร์นะจิต
mid-round calls to
Lurk
come
นะ
out from Talon in how to bring this one back
จิต
from
ยั
a
งไม่เดิน
deficit
นะจิต
position.
ร้องเพื่อนก่อน
Get the
มันจะมาแล้ว
spike down, maybe place for some of
Ơi.
these
ไม่
post
เดินแต่
plants.
จิต
So
ร้องเพื่อน
remember
นะ
that
เล่นแบบ
Isu does
เล่น
have
เข้าพร้อมกัน
salvos
ดีกว่า
Armageddon as well, and now you're in a scenario where you're another member down as Talon.
I didn't have information that Buzz was on site. Armageddon quickly deployed to force Talon to disperse. Now an
Lên đập bắn chạy
uncomfortable
chậm.
Cruz gonna have to dance around on top of 410, but Buzz with a swing out from Raptors takes one
ไม่เทียบ
round
ที่
back
กูเลย
up for
เทียบที่นั่น
T1.
หมด
Yeah, it feels like
Pero-
T1 had a pretty good grasp on how they wanted to navigate their rotations around the map on that one as well, right? They're not really looking to challenge completely over at the B side of things. When it does get conceded, they fall back, they group up a little bit, play with a little bit of stall utility too, but ultimately, when they have that player advantage, it's just play on the back of the ultimate, play on the back of the salvos, really try and make sure that this utility can be a
เดือดจริง
bit
ว่ะ
pivotal for
แม่
them.
งคุม
You got to consider as well new agent lineups, so there's going to be a couple of teething issues for T1 to consider in an official capacity what this agent lineup looks like.
เมื่อวานก็สเปรย์กันอย่างนี้นะ
Such a strong team as T1, of course, the Masters winners. You
Hey,
would generally expect them to kind of,
No.
you know, just have an idea.
They're gonna
Oh,
fall
yeah.
at some
They
point,
got it.
Komodo. They're
แซน
gonna
ไอ
fall.
แซนอะ
I mean,
Jokes aside.
when have
Oh.
we ever seen a Masters Champions winner
เฮ้ยจิตพอเหอะ
continue the dominance, right?
นั่นแหละให้คนอื่นดีกว่าจิต
Well, Thive right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
at least with the
ช่วงนี้ไม่ค่อยดีนะ
hold from
แต่
back
ไป
spot
ฝั่งมา
takes down a really curious Buzz.
ตาย
Now you got the player advantage as
ตาย
Talon.
เดียวเลยเฮีย
Just look to, again, drone up forward, right? Going to be something good for them when they're running a Teho and a Sova. They've got 2 drones available to
เวนดอลแม่งฟินจริง
make
เฮีย
you guess
แรก
where
แม่ง
things
ไป
might be
Yeah.
eventuating as
Yeah.
T1, who now are feeling the need
Pagati.
to waltz around a little bit
Maybe.
more at B. Try to confirm some information as Sylvan, and well, yeah, he's going to confirm some information. It's not the info you wanted, though.
อือ
That will be
Wait,
then
hit.
Talon happy to take the B site.
เรียบร้อย
Some slight lurks.
มัน
being
เล็งอะไร
set up
วะ
early on by
มันเล็ง
Ezo.
ลับเตอร์ทำไมอ่ะ
Even odds now possibly for T1 to fight back. Cruz though, still
Oh,
this is where you
dude.
get all those post plants.
Yeah, absolutely. One shot
Lord.
dart, Hunter's Fury, Snake Spite still for Thigh.
Just holding the positions. T1
จิตลอย
looking to get up
หลุด
closer.
จิต
Maybe
ลอย
go for the tap. Salvos to
Lay
clear
up.
out yellow, but it's not where Primi was.
ตามหมดเลย
Able to swing out from the earlier position. Thigh then coming back in. The snake bite bouncing off. It
มึงคิดว่าที่เห็น
definitely
นั่น
gets
คือ
in
ยืนอยู่
range
บ
of
น
the
ลับเตอร์เหรอ
spikes
วะ
of Meteor.
เป็น
Unfortunately,
ไม่ได้
not quite going to be
มั
able
น
to
มัน
find
ใช่
the
เหรอวะ
retake
มุ
on
มลับ
this
เตอร์
one.
มัน
I
มัน
mean,
เห็
you're
น
just
ยัง
going
ไง
to
วะ
have to contend with the fact that there's a 1 versus 3,
No,
but
but-
also a Hunter's Fury that can be very reliable. And then Salvos eventually would come back online. So
Oh,
this
Nick
is one of the,
let me
the
do it.
problems with this, I'll call it agent scenario. You know, once upon a time we had the post-plant meta, right? But now it feels like you can be just a little bit even more disconnected from the
ไม่จิต
action
ได้ข่าว
because of
นะ
Mateo.
เฮ้ย
That's it, though, to
อยู่
your
นี่อยู่
earlier
เลยบ้าง
point. I mean,
เข้าบีเลยเพื่อน
the round aside, Meteor
Yeah.
is one of these
Yeah.
players who
Yeah.
has the potential. I mean, 2 times Masters winner from Gen G onto T1.
เดินมาตายกันเองครับดู
I would actually like to see, welcome sight if T1 happens to be, 2 times back-to-back
ถ่าย
Masters
มาแล้ว
winners.
แล้วเวนดอลเดียวมาโกะ
It's
ด้
not
วยเรียบร้อย
impossible. It's not easy.
They got to get there first. You know, they got to make sure they're getting through playoffs.
มาว่ะ
It's going to be a long stretch before we get to that point. Talon right now looking to take T1 down. Salvos, though, just to block off Belt for now.
Of course, I think there's only one scenario in which T1 do manage to top the bracket as well, or the group, to get that first seed.
มึงเล่นโกงไว้เปล่าเอาใครเป็นล่างใครเป็น
Beating
ล่าง
Talon is part of that, but right now on the Eco, Cruz able to swing and peek out. Buzzo with his own swing, but instantly
ตายส
traded.
วย
Talon having players in spades around this spot.
300 บาท
Meteor
โคตรชิล
with Phantom
1
here.
คิว
You'd think has to do the lion's share of the
ถ้าไม่
remaining
ใช่
work.
ถ้าไม่ใช่โดน
Otherwise,
ก็อาจจะเป็น
T1 's
1
just
คิว
the
แล้วก็ไม่
pistols
ไม่
that
ไม่
you would
ตายด้วย
generally
วิ่งหนีชิว
see them manipulate in a situation like this, but
ๆปืนหนัง
never count them
ปืน
out.
ฟรี
Maybe, just maybe.
เฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยอันนี้
Sax
ไม่
to
ควรได้
confirm
คิ
a
ว
little bit more information. He does have
Don't let
Izu
you
next to him with
ละเอียด
a
หน่
lot
อ
of
ย
this
ละเอียดหน่อย
utility still.
They're going to play close with
Ooh,
unorthodox
Jersey.
pressing one and dones, but yes, a
Hey,
lot
Leo.
of information. Spike down, Salvo's flushed
เป็
out.
นไรเจอสี่อ่ะ
ไม่เป็นไร
Thing is,
คือ
there's
เรา
still
ดี
30 seconds.
สู้
It
ได้
doesn't really
ฉลา
matter
ด
that
มาก
you've got
ปืน
numbers
ที
here
มา
as
บี
T1.
เฮ้ยอันตีเลยเหรอ
Stax still has the frag too, but yeah, at this point, Armageddon just pretty much confirms it. They were flushed out of their spots, and yeah, Izu will be found as well.
อุ้ยได้ปืน
Yep, 3-3, tied on up.
Yeah.
Pretty slow pace round from T1 considered, but a good one that they managed to hold, you know, 4 members at the end of that for the big investment of an Armageddon. I still think that they'll be pretty happy with that to keep this one in close contests. Buzz really liking to get up close and personal, it feels like these last couple of rounds as well. Belt pushing Garage. Maybe want to rein that one in just a little bit. He's not as quick to escape as he once was on that chamber.
เออเก่งมากกล้องเก่ง
Yep.
ใช้ไปเลยอย่ากักอย่ากัก
Blade Storm available behind it as
มาถึง
well. Not going to be playing
จ่ายเลยครับ
of
เนี่ย
yellow.
ดูดิ
Technically go back
ดู
there
ดิ
if he does
อุ้ย
want
ไล่
to.
ข้างบนนะ
Cake
เดี๋ยว
hides inside of the Cloudburst.
จ่ายเละเลย
You expect the operator to be on this
Hey,
line. I mean, this is where I
Jai,
highlight a little bit earlier the fact that you've got 2
Oh,
drones
one.
available for Talon, right? Stealth drone
Yung may-
and
โดนเขาอีก
Valkyrie.
ทีนึงไอ้เหี้ยจ่ายให้หมด
Remy gonna get taken out first.
You're gonna feel the
อุ้ย
sting
อุ้ย
from that one.
อุ้ย
Thilo
ตายตายเลิกอุ้ย
attempt
ตาย
does
ตายเอาหมด
force
เลย
Silver to
ตาย
come
อรไทย
Buzz now
เอ้ย
feeling the heat
เอ้ย
as well.
เออ
Hemisphere forces
ไป
him
ไล่
to reposition,
แล้วมาครับ
but
คิ
still
รัว
in
เก็บ
second
งาน
shot.
ให้แล้วดู
Trade
ตาย
right
ดี
back.
เนียนๆอยู่ตรง
But
นี้
you
ฮะ
have Stacks once again back from mid. Tosses the fragment.
เฮ้ยอะไรไม่โดนโอ้ไม่นิ่งเลยคิรัว
Now
ฮะ
Stacks has a bit more timing to get up closer. Izu to scout out more information as
เจ๋อ
well.
Yeah, using the drone for the actual info instead of removing abilities. Now they know where both of them are. Quack.
โอ้ยทีม
Position. He's dancing back and forth.
ทีมกลับมาแล้ว
Early.
Salvos buys a bit of time,
Oi.
but still got to consider the position. Stacks could wrap
Maya.
around yellow, but they're just going to stack up next to each other. Stacks in for the 3K.
Alrighty, so T1 able to still hold on to the rounds, even if there was a moment in time that they lose player advantages, right? The operator to open things up, but then still able to settle down a little bit when the going gets rough.
ดีวาย
I think maybe Thai is going to be able to just kind of upset things with Jitboys coming out through mid, but I don't even know if that was a proper drop from Stacks and just not heard, unfortunately, by Thai, but that kill to bring it within the realm of possibility, 2 versus 2, and then they find the info at the end
เฮ้ย
there.
เป้าหมายกูเจอ
That's it done by T1, and they're going to be able to double down because you've got a lot of these ultimates online for them now.
ไม่ดีหรอก
A lot of light shields too, technically, but these are the sort of rounds, you know, the middle of the half where you use them here, you're surely going to be able to
เรื่องหนักพ่อ
pick
แค่
them
สอง
back
ตัวนั้น
up.
มากกว่าว่ะที่มันเล่นกดเดินเอา
Stealthy from Buzz as well. Now he's still back onto
กูเลือกมาก่อน
yellow.
ตาแล้ว
Risky
เอา
too
เล่น
from
สองแม่งเล่น
Izu
กด
if
เดิน
you
ออก
wanted to even try and
ส
grab
อง
that
คน
orb, because he's the only soldier here for
ต้องเล่น
T1,
แรด
and
แต่แม่ง
I mean, there's
เอาเวน
4 of them
เอา
for
เล่นเวน
Talon.
นะมันกวนตีนปะ
You don't need to be too hungry to also get your ult online when you've got your team that can bail you out.
Talon also considering if Buzz might have been to a different position this time.
Yeah, but this is where the drone comes down. I mean, as long as you're, you know, kind of making sure that you're rinsing and repeating the drone and the dart and the secondary drone that got out from Killer too, and even salvos to clear some corners, right? You're kind of okay with coming up with a pretty standard slow approach as Talon. Now it's the timing problem for Izu where they could look to turn up the pace when this drone is destroyed.
But Izu's got Sylvan watching his 6. 8 Jit Boys though, 86 is Sylvan now for Izu to then wrap back around the same spot. Talon might not expect it. They're holding the angle though, Primi trying to assert himself back into the fight. Ty will take the action.
Yeah,
Then for the 3 on 4.
that one's a little bit awkward, but now you've got a pick going in with the null command from Stacks.
Which does mean that utility will be rendered useless. Continuing to push through though, getting some space alongside the fragment. Jit Boys continuing to hold the left flank. Watching for it, he hears the footsteps, thrown off by the crosshair placement. He hears, but sees players up front as well. With that, then, the lockdown going all the way through. So much space by Buzz, he finds the taps! 2 kills, maybe the 3rd, Meteor to collect!
You got to see the patience in that round come out from T1 as we congratulate Buzz here for his 2000th kill in VCT Pacific. Those were some sharp ones at that.
2000 might have just up a little bit closer to what Aspas has. Yes, that
แบบว่า
was
ยึดแม่
insane with how he first took space and then found those taps.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good patience and good resilience to come through from T1, right? When they recognize that they can null commands to remove all abilities and set up for the lockdown as well, make it a little bit hot under the collar. The fact that Dai is forced out of the pit as well for just an extra mere moment in time that it does drop does make things a little bit more awkward for Talon to equalize things up.
Certainly a lot of pride in the Korean home crowd right now as well, cheering for Buzz, meeting that milestone. Buzz then continuing on with this tear. He has the op once again, and he's peeked down mid. He's been spotted by the turret.
What do you look to do here, though, with a little bit of haste up towards this B site at the moment? Premier to cross, Killua to assist, but it's the timing. Izu.
Oh, he spotted them. Right, rotations pulled back to B, but even then, Buzz meeting those rotations fully as Talon tries to cross over. Jit Boys, though, snuck all the way in. Trying to hold down the angles, hold down space for the spike to get planted.
Armageddon comes out from Izu too, which can set up Meteor to try and catch them when falling back. It will do so awkwardly, rather.
Yeah, this is where maybe you get to play around these post-plant positions, anticipating Buzz up top. Primi then to hold around the toxic screen. The good flash good from Steps, but still quickly down dispatched by Primi. Neverthorn burns at the feet of Izu. Now it's just Sylvan. Tries to peek out from screens, but spotted out by Killua. Talon back up.
Nicely done for surviving at the end of that one as well. You think the round could certainly turn up on its head when Izu drops in the Armageddon and Meteor tries to find the right timing on that one. It's also a 4 versus 5 conversion that Talon are able to convert there too. So nicely allocated, some good little shots to come out from Primi. They're not really little ones, they're pretty impactful ones, honestly. It's going to force a timeout here too. This might actually be T1's timeout. Feeling a little bit problematic in the server now.
Right, changing up comp somewhat mid-season. Might assume that it could feel a little bit uncomfortable, even though these agents are still, you know, not too foreign to them.
I mean, when you look at the, I'll call it recent history of T1 on this map so far, you know, stage 1 and let's just go with stage 1, right? Defense has not been the strongest suit for T1, specifically on this map, right? Lion's share of things on the attacking side, and now that they're feeling like there might be a little bit of pressure on this defensive side, where it feels like, well, they kind of need to get 6, maybe 7 rounds on it. Yeah, taking a timeout at this current point in time to have some coach input to recognize, all right, what have we seen that Talon are doing successfully? What are we doing wrong that we can quickly fix up, potentially?
Yeah, especially when you don't have Meteor on that ISO or defensive rounds, I guess. Struggling somewhat, but for now at least, you know, Talon have been successful at pulling some of these rotations away. Between both extremities of the map. Back into A though this time.
See maybe what Buzz is going to be able to do. Generally, you would expect a drone to somewhat come out here, but it's just a bit dry out from the side of Talon. Once again, just playing on the side of slow-paced, methodical information gathering around the map.
And also quick reactions if they spot a player. Trying to conserve their utility for the spike. For the sight hits as well, but here comes Primi.
เกือบไม่โดนครับพิมมี่ยังคุมมาได้อยู่
Looking to pull his enemies in, but Buzz quickly anchors the B site for now. Still though, A site cracked open. Meteor around the sides. He's still undetected. Looks to delete players off the board first. Primi then.
เฮ้ยทำไมอีโคมาแยกกันหน้ามาด้วยกันดิ
All of a sudden, impossible thrifty at the hands of T1. Killua trying to swing out from the sides of the toxic screen. Will kiss Stacks for now. Then a hug from Meteor. Just cruise, and he's only got the util. Viper's pit on the spike.
มัน
It's
จะ
not
แยก
going
กัน
to
ทำ
be
ไม
easy.
วะ
Komodo, he peeks, and that's Meteor just marking his
ต
position.
รงบอมบีอ่ะ
Yeah, just kind of watching how
fuck.
Talon are repositioning, but more importantly, how T1 are repositioning around that. And I mean, you might not have the headhunter available, but
เหี้ย
you
ปืน
certainly
พก
hunting
แบบลุม
heads
กระ
there.
ทืบมันเลย
As
มันดู
well,
มันจะ
your
ยิงกันหมดไหม
Sheriff
ไอ้เหี้ย
Shot's
เชอ
working
รี
out.
ฟ
Stax's fragment, not denying the spike plant from going down by any means, but still in
เปิด
there.
ได้หนึ่ง
Able to
เปิด
afford
ตรง
a
นู้น
little
หนึ่
bit
ง
of
มา
space
เปิดตร
when
งนี้
he
อีก
got
หนึ่ง
scurrying away.
ตีแม่งหนึ่งบอม
Meteor also gave up his position, but still able to get a really sharp shot out on towards Jit Boys, and then you're playing the distractor game. It feels like at the end there as T1, some safety with the pit going down in the 3 versus 1 to not give an option.
แม่งไม่จัดไฟนอลเซเว่นให้มันเลยวะ
Gotta assume that timeout just to remind T1 of their training and the technical fundamentals, because that whole round just recognizing that if Talon aren't sending out utility, we probably don't have to rotate too much. Now you've got Buzz on the op. We've played this game a couple times.
ใช่เชอรีฟ
It's
มัน
not like
ค
we
ม
made a career out of this.
เราต้องเอาจำนวนคนไปกระทืบมันอ่ะ
What is a note from the last map as well? When the last round rather, when the Aldrum was coming out of garage here, Stax' 0 point actually stopped it right about here, so Cruz wasn't able to find too much forward information for the team to
ไม่
get
เอา
anything
ตาย
off.
ไปแง้ม
This
บี
time
ต่อ
though, it's going to go its full way,
ทีนี้สถานการณ์ลำบากอ่ะ
and you've got some of the rotations from Stax to assist here. Flash
เขา
drive
แยกกัน
in.
อยู่คนก็
No operator, of course, posted it yellow
ปืน
to
แม่
play
ง
on the back of that one though.
No footsteps
แผน
either from Talon.
Yeah, quite patient yet again.
It just comes down to the explosive heads-up duels.
มีดมา3 วิเล่นไม่
Whether or
ได้
not you want to use the
แม่งใช้นั่นหน่วงมีด
kickoff
นั่นไง
first.
พอมีดไป
They
ปุ๊บ
will.
ฟันขึ้น
Okay. 0 point as well.
They see the Sova dart and the jet smoke, so they know there's 4 players here.
ไม่ได้
By all the util that's
3
being
วัน
used.
กว่าตรงนี้
Hence the rotations now coming at this point. 30 seconds left on the clock. Talon beginning to
มานเราหมด
advance.
ต้องถอย
Working around the toxic screen, looking to get the spike planted. The salvos giving them some safety, but salvos firing right back. Izu.
เวลาหมด
You've still got Stacks with a fragment
GG.
as well. This is where
Man
things can
won.
actually be
Uh-oh.
awkward. You need the flank timing, but who is the best flank lurker in this game at the moment?
Meteor. His name
Oh,
comes
he's
to
sleeping.
mind, but Jit Boys. Off the swing, off the alarm spot. He finds a second as well. 10 seconds now, but the spike not yet down. Killua, they're trying to go for it.
Yeah.
Manages to get it down.
A slight second left for them to get the plant.
Thankfully, Primi watching his teammates 6. Just Buzz left. Couple kills would be nice, but given the
นี่
positions
คือ
being
ความสามารถ
held
ขอ
by
ง
the
จิตหมุน
Talon
เงี้ยวเหรอ
players.
And also the fact that Meteor's got 50 credits, Izu's got 750, so he's going to have to at least donate a weapon, and you want the operator in his hand as well, so you're just playing by all of the percentages here. A 1 versus 4 with an operator with the spike planted down on Icebox when you've seen a lot of post-plant util before in the map, and salvos you know that are going to be online. This is just absolutely unachievable, so just take the operator toward the next round.
It's been pretty neck and neck, Komodo, and gotta say, this is pretty wonderful recognition coming out from Talon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these slower paced rounds, certainly, you know, there's a couple of moments that can be the decisive blow in it that could upset Talon's chances to close out a round by the spike plant not going down. I mean, in a situation like that where, you know, there's no gap on the fragment, or Stax holds for another extra second, or Izu for another extra second, and they are able to deny the spike plant, like, it could have gone the other way.
ควรจะนำนะเฮีย
Down to these
ไป
very
โดนอี
narrow
โค
margins. You never quite know, but in that moment, Jit Boys came alive for just a second.
ไม่ชอบ
Able to repeat that performance. Talon once again back in the B, but this time it's a full 5 stack.
รักกู
Last
อีโค
round
ตลอด
taken half
แพ้ได้
two, so Meteor, whether or not you play a little bit more passive on approach because you've got that lockdown, or you're going to play a little bit more forward to try and maximize the space
จะเย็นหน่ะเลนก้า
if Talon decides to continue on towards this B site.
นาฟิลิเพื่อน
With conditioning as
Yeah,
well,
Linkasa.
T1 now beginning to think, is this really a full hit?
นาฟิลิกับอินาลี
At some point then, with all the utility dumped in, intentions from Talon crystal clear.
เฮ้ยแล้วทีม
Salvos
กูแทงโอ้วิ่งลงแฟด
Stax trying to play on top.
As soon as that
เฮ้ย
one
เต
got
โอ
away,
เตโอ
he's
หลุด
really
แล้ว
got
เต
this
โอหลุด
around
แล้ว
the
ล่า
spot.
สุด
This is where Talon can start to find a little bit
อ้าว
of
แล้ว
time.
ตีแตกด้วยครับ
Lockdown,
แล้วแม่งปักให้เลย
Does give some
เอา
space
ตอนไหนยิงไม่โดน
T1, but with the trades out from Primi, just buys more time.
สวยลุงทีมคมจัดช่วงนี้
Meteor left. No post plant utility for Talon though.
3-1
Just got to
เล่น
play
ยังไงให้แพ้
positions on the spike, on the site.
how to
A lot of them
TV1
stick together, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow.
Start
yeah, they get out, so what does that mean?
มาตัวแรก
Low. It's a full stack.
มาแล้ว
Meteor
หนึ่ง
though,
มีอีกไหม
isolating the angles
มี
bit
คนไหม
by
เธอ
bit. He will chump down at the first.
เริ่มละ
tries to go for the tap, thinking someone might be behind, and that's when Thai
เฮ้ย
possibly a little bit more for Talon right now. Certainly a bit of a challenge between
ความเร็วผม
Premi
ให้อยู่
and
ที่
Buzz. Trying to contest first place. Buzz
บิ๊ก
meeting
ผมให้
each other.
8.5ยิงผมให้
Premi taking some damage off that one.
ความคุ้มค่านั้นถ้าจะเอามาเทียบตัว1 ล้านเทียบกับองลีแล้ว
Well, Sylvan
ผมให้ด็อกบาร์
within
ดี
an inch
กว่า
of his life wouldn't even spot out an
องลี
opponent
ยังอยู่ได้ A บ
just
ว
to
ก
clear it.
หรือไม่ก็ S ล่างๆ ฉะนั้นองลีดีกว่า
He's
ต้อง
gonna
ถึง
stay
ได้
tucked in. Oh, good check by
ชัวร์
Kilo.
ไอ้เต้งปิดไปตอนหลังเลย
พี่ดูแล้ว
Now
ไม่
it's
ได้
the
ดู
4 versus 5 deficit, but you gotta try and piece things together. I think Meteor was spotted by Jip Boys, he was, but it does not matter. Extra info, 2 players around the boiler. He's so hungry to try and establish dominance here. Meanwhile, the rest of the team has managed to slip in towards the A site.
เทียบกับองลีนะเหมือนกัน
The spike button now especially as well. Meteor or not, I mean, Reyna or not, he's still Meteor.
ล่างๆไม่ก็ A บวก
Of course, now spotted out. So, no need to worry about lurks or flanks any further. Begin with the drone to advance into sight to clear, but it's quickly shot down.
And Stax is low too, remember?
Tries to
Oh!
position though, and that's when he's able to
Bajing
straight
nang
find Thai. Couple kills traded out
Hey,
to
lum,
both
lum,
sides
lum.
as well. Down to just
Hey,
Premi
deal,
then, who finds the sheriff shot.
Attacking side of pistol. Going to be squandered here. Talon will manage to get that defuse. Meteor, it feels like you were just not able to escape whatsoever. No matter what angle you went. Back in towards kitchen, dead. Out towards boiler, dead. Out towards orange, dead.
มันจะมีแบบดิฟทำไมใน
Dead.
เมื่อ
No
ต้อง
matter
ดู
which way you
เ
go, and I got to give good recognition for Talon as well. Just not overheating in a lot of those moments. Even in that B main creep that they go together. Right? They go together. It's the fact that there's going to be a trade ability for them. Slowly but surely, going in for a lot of these retakes. When you have a team that plays extremely slow as well, right? Time and time again, you can throw in a couple of fast rounds to catch your opponents off guard. So I wonder the depth that Talon feel they have on this map to change things up like that.
Also not enough game tape for T1 to study up on either.
Yeah, exactly.
So long since this map was played, but right now, just the guns coming alive. 2 kills up by mid. Certainly some footsteps heard around green as well.
Yep. Favoring Armageddon earlier.
หากมันกินงูยังไงอะบูม
Quick rotations then, but Premi's here.
With the Outlaw, it'll just make mincemeat of you as T1. Yep, look at that. Easy as you love it. Misses the second shot. How dare he?
อุ้ยปล่อยเสียงมาเลย
I dare you to miss the next one.
ฮะ
Come on, Premi.
เฮ้ย
One miss.
เฮียบัตรแม่งเล่นบ้าจัดอ่ะ กระโดดแดดเข้ามาวาง
Plant down though for T1.
ไม่สน
Still got to be happy with that with just classics.
แล้วเสือกวางได้ประเด็น
It's good money. Oh, good on the double dink as well. Izu, what is that? 2 kills now. He's taken Premi down. Nonetheless,
2 kills in a plant, yeah. I think you're kind of okay
Hey,
with that as
Pimmy,
T1, all things considered. But for
Let me
Talon,
make a
you
Pimmy,
extend
Pimmy,
out a
lewa.
little bit more of a lead. If you're able to pull away a bonus round here, that could be pretty
เอาพี่มีปืน
devastating
อะไร
for
อ่ะ พี่
T1.
นี่มันไม่ได้ใช้
So we'll
ไอ้
see
นั่นหรอ
how they
เอาหรอ
gotta look to navigate this next round coming over with some Guardians and an Outlaw. I mean, you got to be a little bit more protective of your own investments in this next round as T1 as well. So if somebody has to drop down onto something of a lesser variety, miss any bit of utils or, you know, lighter shields for that matter, you're going to have to clear corners, which is why the spike plant down in a scenario like that is a little bit more important, right? They get 2 of them down, which means that they do manage to get all the armors out, the util that they need.
everything fully equipped and online. So Premi's Outlaw in this round is going to have to meet its mark. Currently positioned around B though, Premi. Looks towards mid. He does
ได้
see
หมดน้ำลาวนะ
Sylvan.
สวยๆนะ
Hungry for it though, isn't he? He knows that he can have the line of superiority with the scope weapon there. Meanwhile, the rest of the team can start to meander around the map and refigure out where they want to hold their defenses. Name of the likes of Jip Boys back towards that A side after a slight lean away.
Still holding the angle. Someone does re-challenge as well, but well now, weight beginning to shift across for both teams. Some responsibility on the shoulders of Killa until T1 routes back.
And something that Stax was doing really well was the 0 points towards B when you think a pop might be coming out, right? That's something that Talon are not going to be able to do on this defensive side, so they're going to have to put a little bit more stock in towards holding the drone for the later on stages of the round, or holding a dart that they can shoot out there, and maybe be one of these unexpected positions that's hard to break quickly.
Speaking of drones and darts, Cruz Trying to sneak and flank as well, but unbeknownst to him,
โดน
somewhere out behind.
มาบนนั้นลาวนะ
Towards the
อุ้ย
side thigh,
อุ้ย
trying to hold down the shots. It's gonna be
อุ้ย
Sylvan and
ตาย
Izu fighting a 2 apiece though.
อุ้ย
Thigh
ตาย
then
อุ้ย
answers
ตายรัว
back. Killua taking
อุ้ยตายกับ
down
รัวมาคนละ
Sylvan
หนึ่ง
as well.
เอาเฮียแล้วไงมันเจ็บหมดเลยครับ
3v2. Good flash from Stacks, but doesn't deter Talon whatsoever. The salvo's coming back in.
You got a fragment for Stacks. You've got still a
เอา
little bit
แล้
of
วบน
killjoy
นัดลาว
utility,
ก็จะ
but
ได้ครับ
just gotta hit your shots here, Quack.
Stacks trying to get proactive. He's hitting his shots. He's hitting his shots.
One on
Killua
one.
brings it to a 1v1, but with a
Ooh.
sidestep, Meteor. Some slight moments, but it's just going to be Killua coming back up on top.
เอาแล้ว
No
ว่ะ
difference in a map
1-0
like this one. Doesn't matter if you're playing the Killjoy or the Reina, you got to hit your shots at the end there
Yeah,
as
รัว
Meteor,
ว่ะ
and
นี่
that
ฮะ
one
ซื้อ
is
ไฟ
gonna
พาวเวอร์มาครับ
be calculated. A
ก็ได้ไฟ
bonus
power
round
ไป
conversion for the likes of Talon, and you just look at the shots, right? Open space that
ไม่แล้วปืนนี้
Talon
พวก
are
นี้
able
แม่ง
to
ถนัด
find a lot of
ถนัด
those
จ
good
ริงๆ
shots
ปื
are
น
coming
เนี่ย
out,
ปื
and
น
more namely the trade game from Thai in those
Guardian
first two that he's able
พวกแม่ง
to
ใช้กัน
get,
เก่ง
and then the 1 versus 1. We'll look at the repeat back here. The Guardian headshots come through from Killua.
Yes.
Nicely done from Talon, but enough in the coffers for T1 to go at it again. And maybe they themselves want to go a little bit more speedy in this round. You've got a null command available. You've got Izu one away from the Armageddon. If you're able to get close quickly and drop that, I mean, you could definitely look to steal away a quick one here.
Could fully overwhelm Jit Boys
ตาย
at the
นี่
very
คือโต้ที่
least.
เคยเล่นกับบันใช่ไหม
But that's when Killua has Armageddon as well for the retake. And look at Talon also wrapping all the way around.
And now, because you didn't use the null command to get into the site, you actually have it to buy some time when you look to go for a post plant that's going to lock you in the site because 3 players on the flank.
Okay, well, nonetheless, they find themselves in this spot. Gonna have to try to fight their way out of this, but not aware that Cruz is walking the back. He's got the outlaw.
แล้วต่อเนื่องเลยฮะ
One apiece.
10อย่างนี้ไป
Pretty
10
then up
เฮ้ย
on
เฮ้ย
top.
เฮ้ยฮับ
Good
ฮับ
little
ฮับ
tank. Repositions with the updraft as well, but Izu still able to spin on a dime
โด
until
ดไป
Jit
ฆ่าเขา
Boys,
เหมือนไปมอบ
Talon with numbers, prevailing on top.
Yeah, Izu not given a little bit of a breath between that kill there,
Vi
so
loi
it does get
Ronaldo.
traded out quite nicely, but it's just
Ronaldo.
quick recognition from Talon that T1 are trying to waltz in towards this A site real rapid. Time to be bought as well from Killua on the Armageddon because of all the damage that he did in the previous couple rounds, right? That buys significant time to throw a problem T1's way. And Cruz as well, getting some good shots out with the Outlaw, just very cohesive are Talon, it feels like, on this map currently.
สู้เอ็มยิง
Stretching
น่า
out
กลัว
their
อยู่
lead
นะ
now on this defensive side to 10 rounds, double digits achieved, and look at what they've converted. It's 6 rounds in a row if you consider the half flip as well.
Oh yes, it's getting kind of dicey for T1 if I'm being honest, Komodo. Thigh now with the Viper's Pit
ทีวัน
potentially
เข้า
as
รอบ
well.
ไปแล้วใช่ไหม
Oh, quick to deploy it.
ใช่ไหม
Alt Orb picked up.
เฮ้ยหิวข้าวโอ๊ยตายแล้ว
Yeah, you definitely need to see T1 come back with an answer here. Otherwise, they need to call another timeout and really have a huge decision. Kind of surprised that they didn't drop the second one already. Unless I'm forgetting that they already did use 2, but I don't believe so.
Oh, this is not good. Drone spots out. You got Primi watching the angle.
Yeah, I mean, Primi should be good for 1 playing on top of Yellow
Such
here.
a sneaky angle as well.
At this current point in time too, unless you're salvoing him off the line as Izu, you've already used your stealth drone, but they do manage to get him out because he was on the stealth drone rather.
Continuous drone from Cruz as well, but yeah, those salvos. T1 using it to try to get a pinch onto Primi instead. Primi will get away unscathed nonetheless.
Null command used by Stacks as well is gonna try and keep Talon honest a little bit in what they utilize around it, but now the ult start coming out from afar.
Oh, he finds a second shot! Hunter's Fury coming in! It's 2 kills! Just the last one left! Meteor trying to fight back, but certainly no way to pick up his fallen brethren. Primi! Off to the triple kill!
Man, Talon, they are absolutely looking to lay down the law on this defensive side, aren't they? That's another round that they managed to gather. This time, not in a post-plant variety, though. They stave off the plant from even going down. You got the null command in, but the operator shots are sublime, and you've also then just got the Sova and Cruz outside of the range of the null command, so he's able to just laser them on down. These components that Talon are finding at the right time around the maps, whether it's information in what they hear around B, courtesy of Primi being on the line at the first point, and then just also combining a lot of this utility as well, is kind of looking superb. Why were Talon a team that have not played Icebox?
Good question. I guess we'll hash it out with Frost at some point, maybe Jovi as well. But you do gather it's just the fact that they've been working on other maps, and now Icebox is a perfect way to surprise T1 with their own comp, their own strats and protocols.
Well, I guess if you're in a situation where you really want to try and get in towards playoffs, you need to potentially bring out something from your strat book that you just haven't yet. A map that you've not played.
True that.
Certainly a way of doing that. When you consider as well, you know, that if Talon do lose this one, for example, they really need Zeta to win for them to get in towards playoffs. You know, there's also a world in which, you know, in this Omega bracket that Talon can even get top of the bracket in some weird way. If Talon win, if Nongshim win, and if Team Secret win, Talon are top of the bracket. It's unlikely outcome, but we'll see.
The 1 out of a million chance. No, I'm kidding, but definite furrowed brows on the side of T1 as the coach tries to bring something up together, but it's quickly dismayed by Primi with his ops still holding down these huge sight lines.
Yeah, and you've taken Buzz down as well, right? So it makes things real awkward for T1, who do manage to get into the A site.
Might be.
Yeah, Null Commando will still able to get in, but Jit Boys and the position found. He's got 2 kills, he's getting a hat trick! So
Hat-trick!
Meteor!
Hat-trick!
And he's getting surrounded.
Zoo!
I haven't heard of this story before, Quack.
Chapter 1, you get peeked.
Still running in this flawless variety for Talon on the defensive side right now. That is 6 rounds in a row to give themselves 6 map points. That's a non-conversion for T1 on the back of the timeout as well. Just good tip of the hat to Jit Boys, isolating all the 1v1s on the site there with 2 HP for him too. That is absolutely gorgeous. T1, it feels like they have ran out of steam on this map at the moment because Talon are just not giving them any space. They are giving them the space. Well, it's because it's a trap, and they know.
So much to consider. Right now, still trying to figure out if Primi is once again on the A site.
And Talon are already all the way up B main for all of this information together as Killua and Dai, so they know this is the A site.
Oh, but then Cruz, sudden peek.
Buzz down first again.
Tough when your star duelist is gone. At least the lockdown, possibly to give some space.
Man!
How are you doing this?
Counter lockdown in. Gonna force some respect here.
Lockdown งี้
does go down.
เล่นแน่เข้าเลยจังหวะจู่โจมจู่โจม Welcome to my world อุ้ย
The Viper Spit at the very least to give T1 some safe haven on the site. Izu, sneaking all the way underneath.
อิสุมั่วแล้วครับ
Talon
GG
might not know. The spring transfer not quite there though, and Cruz carries his team across the finishing line, closing out this map with a
ปกติจะเป็นอันนี้ป่ะไอโซป่ะ
today. And that's the kind of thing that I can envision them doing. I'd like to know in an interview if they win that specifically, because you're going up against this potential big diving comp, TP comp with Buzz in there. Double Senti. You can definitely bring in some traps.
In Coach Frost, we trust. They knew that this was going to be a map pick. They picked to start on defense intentionally. Now spotting out one of the T1 players.
Just a note as well, nobody in any of the 4 partner leagues run a deadlock on this map.
Killua back around.
ยังได้อยู่ครับช่วยกันสายด้วยกันสวยรัว อุ้ยรัวจากฟูเซนนะ
Shield
ตาย
cracked and Thigh unfortunately stuck in a reload, so
รัวเอาแล้วทำไมตายไม่เอาเลย
for T1 trying to call for mid-round adaptation.
And you had
What you
stacks
mean,
just
man?
bolts all the way through from sewers on towards this A
I
side
don't
as
get
well. So it is technically free for the taking, but you still got to contend with a lot of that utility that when tripped will now reveal where everyone is. There's also a
ทำไมน้อง
camera
ทำไม
that hasn't actually been opened by Jit Boys yet, I do believe. So he will now have that to spot out some info, which has just been noted.
จะดีขึ้น
เจอดอกไม้เยอะไหม
This 3 versus 3 post play.
ฮะ
เจอดอกไม้เยอะไหม
Gotta watch out for potentially Along as well. Well, the dart will clear that. Meteor knows that his opponents are approaching in from late.
เจ็บ
The swing out though, especially with the blind side, Primi could play spoiler. Low HP is Meteor. Grab that coming out all of
พี
a
กด้วยกัน
sudden.
พีกด้วยกันโดดลงมาแล้วพิมมี่อ่ะ
And it's Cruz falling to his death. As Silver finds the shot. Primi though, still with the mechanical skill to put Talon up on top.
That right
ได้ครับ
click.
ได้ครับพิมมี่
The bullets at the end
die.
there, they looked like they would connect on towards Primi, but maybe it was one, maybe it was none. It looked
Is that
like
the
it
minima?
Yeah, the new skin collection coming through. To be honest,
เหลือ1อ่ะเหลือ10
Minima collection, add a like reload, add some small sounds, still keep it minimal, and it would be a cop. Like it's too minimal.
Too minimal.
It's too minimal.
Yeah, we like the effects.
And I'm the guy that doesn't see a lot in this game, so
แม่งยิงไป16อ่ะ
you know that's something.
Yeah,
26
so for those who don't know,
โดนนัดเดียว
Moto can't see color, and that's why you like the minima skins. Well, that said, still
Ui, Deacon
a
nghĩ tịt
beautiful
chùa.
run nonetheless. Skin or
Deacon
not
luôn nghĩ giặc
for
sạch.
Talon
ไอ้แมลงสาบ
right
Khâu à?
now with
โอ้
some
เข้าหัวไปเลยอะพิมมี่
outlaws. Got the stinger off to the other side as well. Cruz
เฮ้ย
trying to
เข้ามาแล้ว
hold
เฮ้ย
some information going through for Talon.
วับออก
Spread them
วั
out.
บออก
See what
มี
you
โด
can
น
do.
มีโดนใช้โดนเคลียร์ฉลาด
Any damage that these pistols are going to be able to collect
เค
on.
ลียร์นั่นแห
That's
ละ
a really deep barrier,
เฮ้ย
man.
แล้วบาเรียมันหลุดมาได้ไงอะทีม
For the likes of Talon,
Uh-oh.
they don't know that a
มึง
player
ใช่ไหม
has
ที่แย่ง
snuck
กู
on
เล่น
by.
ฮะ
Double dink. All of a sudden, Cruz has to hold it down, but he does! The stinger double kill! Swap to the
โอเค
classic
แก้ให้
right
แก้ให้
click!
แก้ให้แก้ให้
Hat trick in round 2!
แก้ให้แก้ให้
And
ครับ
the quad!
ลุงเก็บไปสี่
Cruz!
Yeah.
Welcome back to the server!
That was a very sharp shot at the end of that one
Welcome
as
back
well.
to the server.
With the Guardian single
คืออะไรวะ
shot headshot, but I gotta say,
แล้วก่อนหน้านี้ไปไหน
you gotta
มา
reel in
ก็อยู่
that
ตลอด
wall, right? You gotta make sure no opponents
Hey,
get in
napad
front of
man
you
mua.
because that could have been upset potential in another world. Nevertheless,
Naughty, naughty.
second round
ก็
gathered
ยิง
out
ทุกอาทิตย์
here
เฮ้ย
by
นัก
Talon.
ภาค
Good little mode
ฮัลโหล
playing
ไอ้ตุ๊ก
close
เก้
quarters with the stinger.
เฮ้ย
And then, yeah, we'll just watch that one back. A nice shot at the end there. But this is the new round, right? This is the
เฮ้ย
round
เฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ย
where we'll
ต
have
กใจ
the
ตกใจโอ้
weaponry
ไม่เก่ง
being
นะ
purchased
ไอ้
up
เหี้ย
by
ไม่เก่ง
T1.
นะตกใจอย่างเงี้ย
And
เฮ้ยต้องนิ่งหน่อย
these
ดิ
are the
แบบ
rounds
ทับ
as well
ไอ้บ่อย
where
อะไร
I'm
อย่างเงี้ย
wondering,
นานๆทีอย่างเงี้ย
as
จบดิ
you know, you're going in with this agent lineup.
I don't
I'm
get it.
expecting you to have a lot of counters, expecting
I don't-
T1 not to change the agents
เอ้
in
ย
this map.
ตกใจเฉยเลยยิงได้แม่งตกใจอย่างงี้ไม่ได้
I don't
Said,
get-
what have you cooked up? You know?
ฮัลโหล
Something maybe against Meteor
ดอก
as well.
แกะฮัลโหล
We've already heard some utility off
Okay.
towards this A-long
Man,
area, so Cruz
sủi.
quick to stall them with the
รอ
barrier.
เลยรออย่า
Take
ยิง
that
ลูกแก้ว
TP
ยิง
and
ลูกแก้ว
generally
ยิง
you'd
ร
be
อ
straight in towards a
รอ
stun,
กินหวาน
but you were just
ยิง
removed of your ability.
เอ้าไม่มีใครยิง
Stuns and
เออสวย
survivals
ทีม
both coming online.
ยิงด้วยการ3 2 1เอา
Cyber
รีโหลดไอ้เหี้ยนั่นออก
play around, and it's Primi just with a ghost.
คุยกัน
Dives
ดี
down deep. It's gonna be Meteor who finds the frags.
เฮ้ย
Just
คุย
to
กัน
put
ดี
a splash
รีโหลด
back
ไอ้นั่น
against
พี
Talon.
กอะไรอ่ะ
I need to see something decisive come back from T1 in that round to try and win it on cleanly. Maybe I'll advise for someone to drop out of heaven immediately with only a pistol there, but it is what it is. Trying to just get dirty in the ring.
เกมไม่หันมาสะบัด
It's not going to work out. You'll take
Good
into
man.
the next
Good.
round an annihilation as
Good man.
Cruz,
Good man.
by the way. So that's going to be interesting to see
Good
how
man.
that one will
นี่ฮะที่แบนนะ
be played
Gak.
into the fresh round. I believe
Non.
Primi as well as one off the dimensional drift. So
ธร
already
รมดา
you
ธรรม
know,
ดานักแข่ง
quite,
อย่างเงี้ยเขามองบน
quite active towards the
ช็อตแบบนี้
ultimates.
memory muscle
But you flip it on over, Meteor with the kill contract. That's the one that I'm a little bit more interested in. Right, he's going to win that one out. The
Hello?
standard. Nice straight fight. Go for the
โอเค
shot.
เฮ้ยอะไรวะ
appreciate welcome to my family
Yeah, straight up through mid.
Hello?
3 of them, in
Mimoda.
fact. Can have a
Mimoda.
pretty quick flank to potentially catch
do
Easy
Kaima
off
Mimoda.
guard.
อีโก้ปะเนี่ยอีโก้ปะเนี่ย
Against trips for now at least, but yes, Izu.
Here we go, Cruz.
กู
Right aware.
อัปเดตนะ
No
กูอัปเดต
contract,
แพทมานะอีโก้อะล่าสุดอะ
Straight into the gulag. Cruz
เฮ้ยไอทีมแม่งวิ่ง
trying to get a
โมง
quick
เล
rush
ย
against Meteor,
เรียก
but
ว่าโม
the
ง
best Taizu in the world answers back. Primi now then, out from A-long. And also for Izu up around short.
วิ่งไหนทีเลย
Good holds coming out from T1 so far. And unfortunately, even if with the dimensional drift,
Ui,
Talon not
Kilua
quite able to
yeah.
fight back
Oi.
until Killua attempts
เอาแล้ว
some
ยิงตัว
shots.
ปลอมไม่ยิงตัว
Fake
จริง
out
ก็ต่อให้
goofy shot as well, but Primi
เป้าเหินจัง
for
เอ้ย
the
พิม
next
มี่
one. Just Izu
เฮ้
left.
ย
and
เป้าเหิน
he's
ทุ
very
เล่มาก
clearly
เมื่อกี้
spotted out by Long.
ไอ้กูดิกูค
Both
น
of
ดิ
them lining themselves up
Khôn.
for it. And it's angles that are too hard for Izu to contend with. Talon up 3-1.
That's great patience from Killua there as well. As soon as they recognize they're in the 2 versus 1 situation and they haven't taken note exactly on the reposition to come through from Izu, settle down a little bit, drone out
Hey,
towards
don't
Long
get-
to remove his abilities. I mean, that
Go over
point in
there.
time, he doesn't have a cage that he can drop down to try and spray
ดูยัง
down
ดูยัง
towards
โก้
the
ปะเนี่ย
spike.
ดูยัง
Just makes it a little bit more stickier for Izu. And unfortunately in the note as well for Stacks shooting the wrong Yorg, hitting the clone. Unfortunate.
Not too bad though also. I mean, just alongside
deep
Primi,
down
we have Killua finding some moments in that highlight as well.
Yeah, and you still held on to the annihilation from that round because Cruz lost it in the Gulag. And now you've picked up the Armageddon as well.
So once again, back to the main strat of trying to stall potential A hits, but right now, Remy, oh, great and sharp on the check.
ฉลาดครับได้เกาะแถมออกด้วย
It's the
และ1 คิว
counter,
ก่อน
but you are forced to gate crash away, which does actually mean it cements in stone the player advantage for Talon. Now to contend with Cruz, who has dropped the barrier mesh down through towards Sewer.
อีโก้ไหนอีกวะ
That will
แม่ง
segregate both T1 and Talon around A short for now.
Yeah, but it will start to expire, which means that there is
เรื่องร้อน
possibility
น่ะ
that
เรื่อง
they
ร้อนเลย
creep on up. Meteor does have the Vandal too.
I assume Cruz trying to play in position
อ้าว
for
ยูยังไม่ดูเหรอ
surprise kill or
ใน
annihilation.
กลุ่มอ่ะที่กูส่งอ่ะ
They'll potentially just play for that annihilation in this sort of situation. You've got the Gravnet as well, but he's just going to go for a one-to-one trade. Spike to go towards this A side as well, but do you even fancy an early plant here from Meteor? Because your team is just on an island at the moment. They're trying to paddle their way over, and eventually they will get here. So a player advantage for Talon, still with an Armageddon online for Killua, if needed.
เฮ้ย
You got a lot of abilities though for Talon.
ได้
Armageddon, possibly.
เนี่ยกูดูอันนี้มากูเจอเนี้ย
Certainly,
we do.
at some point, just to flush them out. Trying to maybe look for some reactions first, though.
และรีเทคของทารอนนะ
Sent out. Then the salvos, but look at Meteor threading the needle once again. Armageddon then sends over, forces stacks out of position.
กูไหลอ่ะ
Oh,
โอ้หม
just
ด
all
เล
held up by the
ย
choke
โด
point, lined up for
น
Sylvan and Meteor.
Just a strong crossfire there for T1, not really giving a lot of space to Talon to get back in towards that. Feel like Cruz maybe playing a little bit more on the caution side of things, may very well
อันติไม่ค่อยดีเลยวะ
better result for Talon, specifically what they
ทำไมอั
have
นติเขา
before
ยังแบบ
versus 5, because
ดู
that's a
เล่น
one
ง่ายอ
versus
ยู่อัน
one,
ติ
right?
ของ
Makes it a little bit more awkward. Had he just been playing Spotto, potentially have the numbers,
โหอัน
have
ติ
the
เหี้ยมากไอ้สัตว์
Gravnet
พูดตามตร
combo
ง
with
นะ
the team. Irrespective, some good shots out from Sylvan at the end there.
อันติที่
That
รัวไม่
means that
ดี
we
เลยค
are
รับ
still kept a little bit more competitive here. Not seeing Talon start to really bleed out a lead and not have to worry about too much of the credits where now they do have to.
อันติแบบ
That's why they
เป็น
take
กู
a
นะ
knee
จะไล่ตรงนี้เว้ย นี่
down to the
ตัดคอร์สไฟ
eco.
มันไล่ตรงนี้
You'll have a strong buy in the next round.
แล้วก็
You'll
ฆ่า
have an
ตรง
operator
นี้
possible.
เพราะว่าตัดคอร์สไฟ
And off to the eco
เก่งไง
in a kill contract.
เก่ง
This
ต
is
ลอดเลย
tough.
อู้
Jit Boys, unfortunately, of course, gonna fall.
Ow.
Well, unbeknownst to T1, perhaps the full force stack up by A-Link. That said, still not a favorable fight for Talon. They're just happy to dive right in and find as much as possible with the classics. Stacks then off to the sides with the Phantom to spray. Not truly praying, because who needs faith when you have the aim and the skills to back all of the kills up?
Nice shots to come out from that one, just weathering the eco, making sure that you're not losing too much in the grand scheme of things as T1.
เล่นตีสองเล่นตี
Stretching out into a new round as well, and these are the sort of moments where, you know, you need to have some good adjustments, you need to have some good information gathering on an agent composition like T1, of course. They can make things quite one-dimensional if they need to and quite followable, but with what Talon are throwing at you with their agents, you know, I kind of expect it to be a little bit slower, which is what they've been playing for on these rifle rounds so far.
ไม่ได้ดู
Yeah, so pace slowing down somewhat. Primi still trying to
เฮ้ยเต้
throw a wrench into their
Hey,
plans
bye.
around sewer.
เฮ้ยอันติมาอีกแล้วครับ
Drift on
เรี
in
ยบ
from
ร้อย
Buzz,
ส
though,
วย
find
อันติ
a good amount of information you may
เป็นอันติ
expect
ที่
for
ค่อน
the
ข้าง
team
โกงอยู่
to
อันติครับ
overwhelm in towards this site, comboed with the Hunter's
โอ้โห
Fury.
ต้า
You're getting some good damage out as
โอ้ย
well.
ยังได้หนึ่งเฮ้ยก่อน
Great
ไป
burst, and it does force Talon to disperse. Unfortunate for Primi, he gets quickly deleted. 3-on-4 retake.
The plant will go down as well. Is this going to be a bit too far-fetched for Talon? I think it is already calling for it. Nowhere near the
เมื่อกี้อัน
action.
ติ
No
ไม่พ
smokes
อ
available
มี
for die.
เกาะแตกของ
Yes, you have an
ไอโซ
annihilation,
มา
but
ใช่
that's just
พร้อม
going to
คอม
have
โบ
to sit
กับอันติ
pretty.
โซว่าทีเดียวตายแต่ไม่โดนครับไม่โดนเกาะแตก
Potentially even
โชคดีไป
for a future timeout. I mean, what do you think of Talon so far?
In what regard? That is a very
Bringing out, you know,
open-ended question.
a surprise composition.
Look,
You're trying to play it so far.
If it's directly to counter T1 here, I love the idea to try and bring the game into your own hands where
อย่า
you're
นะ
not
พี่น้อง
relying on the
อย่า
what
นะ
if
อย่า
in
นะ
case you lose,
อย่านะ
right?
อย่า
You're
นะ
going
อย่า
at it
นะ
with the
แต่
gameplay
รี
to
วิว
counter
โค
them.
ตรดีเลยว่ะ
Sometimes you don't have your key components at the right site, right? Your opponents get ultimates. Your opponents are going to win these duels sometimes. That it happens. But it's the way that Talon need to be maneuvering around the map that I need to see a little bit more of. We've held this cocoon for quite a little bit now. Seen some risks be played out. Seen some patient plays not work either.
Right, because repeatedly, the previous round we'll kind of write that off. It was an eco, but after the 2 successful A hits, I think that's kind of what I want to zero in on. Talon haven't quite been able to successfully fend off incoming attacks or to make it on the A site.
Right, playing in this double duelist comp, if you're against the dimensional drift, all right, write that one off. They're just going to find all the information and do what it is. If that's not available and you're setting up, let's say, what's going to destroy that? Stacks being heads up on where to put the shot cards as well to remove the hit. And you're So it comes down to them making some real quick decisions early on how to counter what Talon is surprising, and Talon needing to then potentially change things up for their own.
I've been all over this world.
That the 3 mid walk from them to try and catch T1 and start, right?
I've seen that
they probably
ways
need to play
I ain't even know was possible.
Their bodies forward as opposed to just relying on their utility to go for a lot of these traps. The trap wires at the A site should be expected now, right? It's just standard. Where would the Yoru TP2? Well, let's put some traps there and hope they go into it for us to get a free kill.
That then, though, we also saw Autumn getting quite vocal with the team, so a different direction now for the Korean super team.
Shock dart to the front of B, not going to destroy any util traps there for Talon. Give you an idea as well as Primi real close that there may be something coming. You play on the retake towards C where your Cypher util is, be a little bit aware of what may happen in Garage. But ultimately, how do you keep T1 out of this B site? Well, you're going to have to just have some numbers there to try and contend if they do get into the site.
It's to a safer position as well. Even with the utility up around Garage, so painting a good idea now for T1 to then take the B site. Primi trying to get away. Still don't feel a lot of contact. On the swing, but Primi to take the duel back. Blindside then for the rest of the team to flood back in. The spike not quite planted safely. Up towards Izu, who then pushes out for Garage. So off towards the middle and window area, it's all Talon being able to completely overwhelm Stacks.
Gotta remember that wall is all wallbangable too, so there is just not a safe position for Stacks to be able to hold on in the end there. Thought it might look a little bit awkward for Talon, but Primi is able to just dance and deliver around the back of that site for the team. Then Dimensional Drift and gather a lot of the information as well. So nicely done for Talon to still, I guess, try and find a pass mark on this defense side, right? Because they're running in the double senti. How proficient are they going to be on their attacking side?
So what's the current grade, Komodo? It's a
current grade?
C minus? Pass? No pass?
Oh, it's pass so far.
Okay.
But it's also, your first test of the year, and you can still fall over and fail.
Yeah.
But you could also come out with flying colors and, get a fancy little hat that you can throw in the air.
Paper's not done. We don't have our golden star just yet, but right now, at least T1 still trying to ask some hard questions for Talon straight into Garage, and it forces Jit Boys to think. Knows that it's a clone at least.
And these are the sort of components that I'm talking about earlier on, right? If you've got a lot of these trap plays that you're expecting to come on out, it's just dotting I's and crossing T's, using your clone to reveal some of it or destroy some of it, and then taking the space where that was.
Both drones spotted out by A lobby as well now. So Talon trying to shore up the defenses on the A site.
Already got Stacks who has used the L drone. And the recon eventually will come back online. You need to get the rest of your team posted up, ready to get in towards this site. Of course, Buzz, we saw the clone used earlier on, so if you've got a gate crash in a sort of scenario like this, I was going to say, you'd expect that to go into the position where the sonic sensors may be, but now the Cruise is gone, it makes it a little bit more awkward.
Really tricky now. Certainly with players neutralized, it makes things a lot easier for T1. Meteor dives into the smokes, but Talon trying to play stacked up alongside it. Killua then coming in as well. Just Sylvan and Izu is flanking, but he's been spotted now. Paranoia, he gets one kill, but for Killua to find a triple in the round. The rookie coming alive.
Going through the smokes and passing each other like ships in the night. That's a little bit unfortunate for T1, especially with Meteor just investing the shield and it kind of immediately being removed with no good value there. 30 seconds to go before T1 try to actually get in towards the site, and you've already got that rotation from the Talon members to get on over here.
I think in that sense, then some of the Talon players being lighthouses for each other, and that's why they have this specific setup. Even though Cruz fell early on,
แล้วแม่งหงุดหงิด
Loud Shears going online, and we have now a 3-stack on the C-side. Talon beginning to push out.
I mean, it's like the whole, there's a deadlock, but it's not the only member, right? It's not, the game plan for Talon is not Cruz do everything.
We got Jit Boys, everyone else, but okay.
I mean, we got Primi, bro. They got Primi.
Oh, well,
but now they have Cruz, who opens up on towards Meteor, in towards this
เริ่มรัวแล้วฮะ
C-side.
ไม่เช็คด้วยล่าสุดมั่วแล้วครับ
And that's why you gotta love these super teams. Baramash also kind of deep, but it doesn't allow anyone to slip through this time. T1 trying to scrounge up something together. Sylvan sneaking into the B site, so it pulls the rotations from Talon back to the middle of the map.
And I love how awkward this makes him as well. Sylvan can't just quite 100% feel confident in going for a duel there.
Which also kind of alerts to Talon, you know,
ยิงให้
no
ด้วย
strike towards B just yet. We know it's possible, and that's what Jit Boys goes in for the swing! Izu gun down, Primi, quick on the trade.
They saw Sylvan before, remember, now flashed out.
Oh, and there's no way that he's able to survive for long. Talon, quick on the draw after they've retrieved so much information.
Yeah, these last couple of rounds we've just seen some great decision-making from Talon. I gotta say, right, having the numbers rotated nice and early, not being scared to take a couple of these duels against these T1 members, you know, positions not looked after as well by T1, right? You gotta consider that in dropping in towards this double duelist lineup, one of the falterings for a roster like this is if you're going solo by yourself, you have to clear every single corner. You need to make sure as T1 that there is nowhere that Talon could have slipped in towards. And it's just a little bit unfortunate there that Cruz does get in towards the cubby and just removes him. Timeout for T1. Decision-making time, but is there enough that they've seen for the remaining 2 rounds of this half to get up to 6?
It's tough to say. 10 rounds so far.
ไม่หมูจ
Is
ริง
that
ว่ะ
truly enough? Maybe to just go in for some hot or quick fixes and to possibly set something up for the
แต่ที่วันทำอะไรไม่ดี
after
ว่ะ
having
มั่วมาก
my
เลยตอนเนี้ย
reaction,
something to do with T1, yeah.
that's something funny. Unfortunately,
Yeah, that's why we got people laughing.
Unfortunately, I'm capped with only knowing English.
Same here. Me no Korean, but hey, we do have. I know a smile when I see one. Jovi and Frost having a good time in that coaching booth.
Yeah, game plan's working so far for them. I think they're going to be pretty happy so far.
That's sufficient evidence that, you know, the coach preparation has come in handy.
Yep.
Previous round especially.
Right now as well with a hat on his head.
Oh yes, last week we had that. That was
เห็
weird.
นคนข
Garage though.
ำเฮ้ย
Primi spotted out and bailed out.
นิดเดียว
So we're back to even Stevens.
โอ้จะเกือบตายครับบัต
Good use to exchange for sure.
อุ้ยโดน
But also information. So
มีโอกาส8นะ
Ooh,
Talon not entirely sure.
does that deep camera though give you an idea that this site might be a little bit more than we can
อุ้ยอันตีรวบเลยปะล่ะ
contend with? I mean,
Anti-rwabเลยปะล่ะ
Cypher util back towards
เอร้อง
the
อะ
side as well. Still with the same deadlock util.
It's 2 sentinels on the side though, Komodo.
Oh, and that's a risky swing out from Jit Boys. I do not like that one.
Good mirror match though. Also the grab net, which does capitalize on a lot of these players. For then the TP to shut down Buzz. Unfortunate.
ลุงทีมแบบ
Thought he
จัด
could slip by. Primi then arriving on the site as well. Talon has a completely surrounded. Salvos to flush them out of a long T1. Still trying to get the spike down around this dark cover. It dissipates. Primi strikes. You got Thigh then to find a kill, but then traded right back. Meteor though, just trying to get back in, but the blind side from Primi. Fantastic, allowing him to go for the Goomba stop.
Yeah, that dark cover really buying a lot of time for Talon there, and just the disconnection from Meteor, right? They had 3 members essentially playing towards default, but then they needed to spread themselves out, and it kind of gave Talon a couple of isolated duels that they could really flourish on. Buzz just getting caught out before the flash comes into effect there as well is quite awkward, but in this 3 versus 3, I mean, you got Primi, you got Thigh, just making sure they do what they do. And Primi, again, he's certainly, you would expect, feeling confident in towards this one. I mean, he is certainly just having a good half. A dimensional drift though to come out from Buzz, and now it's Thai that has to try
เรียบ
and
ร้อ
win it in the
ย
1
ต่อ
versus
ให้มึงช
1.
นะ
So challenger.
Meteor wins it again. He's not dropped him yet.
Found a direction
Ui,
at some
dai
point,
dù
but
hả?
yeah, here comes Jit
อุ้ย
Boys
อุ้ย
now.
แล้วโด
Primi
นรัว
still
ๆแล้วพิม
trying
มี่
to
เอารัวๆเลย
dance around
พิม
and
มี่โกรธ
keep his
เอ้ย
opponents
เอ้ย
invested
เอ้ย
to then allow for
ดูดิ
Killua to possibly route back around, but oh,
มา
Primi
วันๆมา
shut down. Killua trying to hold the angle, but Stacks just quick on the draw.
5-7, a very quick round that T1 are going to be able to at least answer back in that one to get another round on the board.
ต้องได้
So,
ปืนพกนะได้ปืนพก
all in
คือจบ
all,
เลย
5-7, I think you're pretty okay with that as Talon. Your game plan's working so far, but now the test is really going to be, you know, put toward them, right? How does this double senti look on the attacking side? It's a more of a known quantity on what the does another great second half, maybe in a flawless nature, to get into playoffs.
อุ้ยเซตอัพ
Of
นี้
lineups, Buzz has been spotted. Does get crash away. Oh, that was lineup for backside. Izu
โอ้
though
ไม่โด
dodges
น
that
ไอ้เหี้ย
with
ไม่มีใครอยู่
ease.
แบ็กไซด์
Cyber cage to allow
แล้ว
the
อี
rest
สู
of the
ตาย
team to sneak in though.
แล้วเรียบร้อยเลย
Shit, boys, the double kill going through.
อย่าพลิก อย่าพลิก
Killua fanning out all across.
บอกอย่า
A little bit more support from Primi as well. But down to Stacks.
ดูเลือดดิดูเลือดดิ
Able to find a
ดู
trade
เลือด
off
แต่ละ
this
ตัวดิ
time.
Look at the damage though. I mean, this is
เหี้ย
the
ฟาวแม่งทำแผนมา
best
ว่ะ
scenario that Stacks will be in a 1 versus
What?
1. Everybody hurting.
ฮัลโหล
He's clutch.
แม่งล็อกขากับไฟเว้ย
ไอ้ดองเก้
Does have a recon, but that barrier mesh in his face is, it's quite pesky.
โคตรแพ
I'm
น
a bit
นะ
surprised that
จี
Cruz
จี
didn't put any sensors on this
จี
spike.
จี
I'll be real.
เพราะว่าเราออกข้างนอกแล้วครับมีไฟ
Oh yeah, you're right. Just didn't have the time for it. Perhaps
มีไฟของ
feeling
ตัวอะไร
the
นะ
pressure.
ไอ้เหี้ยเนี่ย
Stacks
จะโจม
out of garage.
Yeah, he just threw another grav net to back a site.
Killua also taking his time all the way through from
โอ้
Link.
ไม่ทันแล้วดูดิ
Stacks.
โอ้
Oh,
แม่งวิ่งหนีหมด
they're
เล
all
ย
running shot, but he's
ไอ้
been
เหี้ย
spotted.
โอ้โหแต่บอกไม่เจอใครเลยมาเพื่อน
And
มัน
they're just
FK
holding
ปะวะ
position. Discipline from Talon coming forward. Killua then
Hey!
making some noise. Cruz the swing off.
AFK
Oh,
ว่ะ
Stacks.
I
Four
love
Stacks.
I love that. They recognize they're in a
Oh,
1
yeah,
versus
yeah,
4.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
all low. They don't want to give him a proper
AFK
duel if he's running
adi.
anywhere not near the spike, right? It's really cool.
Well drilled.
The thing
Talon.
is, as well for Talon, right? It's not all, we're running double sentinel, let's camera out, let's grab that out, let's set up our sensors, get in, you know, with Primi on this Yoro and stuff. They're still all hitting their shots, right? They're still making sure that they are not just going for some of these lineups, some of these strengths with the agent utility. They're still being very focused on crosshair placement and discipline as well.
I
เทค
think
มา
what
เพื่อ
this
วัน
also
นี้
means,
เลยฮะ
judging
ก
by
ด
this
อัน
pistol
ติ
round, is the
ก็ได้
fact
อะ
that with this coaching
แบ
staff
บนี้กูต้องได้ฟอส
leading
บอกกูต้อง
this
ได้
young Talon squad,
เชี่ย
you can definitely see them growing alongside everyone. Next round coming up, the Altorp, you hear it
เพราะจะ
being
ตก
picked
ใจ
up.
เลยอ่ะ
Primi
เห็น
watching
แผน
the
อะ
angles,
เอ
and
อ
you
มา
see
ตอนไหน
the
อู้ลาอะไร
line
โอ้
up for him. It's a
ทุกอย่าง
collateral.
ทุกอย่าง
Lineup Larry of a different variety.
Yeah.
This time Cruz's grab net would be at the right position for the
ยิง
back
ไม่โดน
wall
หันหลบ
side
เฮ้ย
there,
เฮ้ย
but not
ฮัลโหล
really needed with Primi.
นักเก็ต
ฮัลโหล
Getting that and Cruz getting the finish up. So it's a quick pistol, done and dusted. Those are the rounds that, you know, you generally don't want to see any shenanigans afoot, right? You just want to throw them by the wayside.
Oh yeah.
I dog ate my homework in that, in those sort of rounds, and get into the rifle round.
Yeah, and you would gander also the fact that there's not a lot of, you don't have a lot of guns lost to the wind, so no shenanigans found. A little bit of an attempt by Stacks, but it was quickly spotted out by Jit Boys, and it tells T1 that you got to watch out if you are going to attempt at pushing out.
I believe Primi is 2 away from the dimensional drifts now as well, so if you're able to fashion yourself an orb pick up,
โอ้พิมมี่จะ
which
มี
he
อัน
is
ติ
indeed.
เฮ้ยกูว่าฟาร์มมันติให้พิมมี่
Certainly
นะ
be
ชนะ
powerful.
เลย
He's pretty
ไม่
been
ละ
good
เข้า
for
แล้ว
a
ไอ้
couple
สั
of
ตว์
these
เหี้ย
kills too.
ขวาเข้าไปวาง
Could be
ครับ
cheeky.
Cruz on the judge. Talon calling for a B hit. TP's over, looking for a quick spike plant. The judge shot quickly fired off.
I mean, this is a very quick B-site take where you do have a lot of setup util available for the site
แพนครับ
itself. I mean,
ไล่ทีม
there's
ยอมตายข้างในครับ
barriers,
ด้วย
there's
ใช้ปืน
sensors.
จัด
The judge can really play around that.
Oh, this was rehearsed.
Yeah, for sure.
Quick TP's out as well. And look at Jit Boys. He's trying to wrap around.
เฮ้ยนี่ไว้
Cruz
ทีม
just needs to
ได้
stay
แน่
tucked in
ตรง
and
นี้มึ
stay
งได้แน่
alive. Buy
ต
time
รง
for
นี้
his
มึงได้แน่
teammates.
ทีม
Got one player already down, but
เออ
here comes Cruz.
Ui,
That's
nổi
right,
chăng
couple
à?
of shots. Jit Boys then springing out. Izu getting
Ui,
gunned down.
phải.
Oh, this
Ờ.
attempt at sticking the spike though, it's not going to come to a fruition.
Áo,
Buzz
đứa
then
béo.
coming back in. It's not halved yet.
Ui.
Meteor trying to play spoiler against the
Phải.
Talon players, but here comes Killua with the salvos. It takes some time, and I think it buys enough
Killua.
time. Two
Killua,
players,
áo.
2v1.
คิรัว
Meteor still trying to stick it halfway. He's spinning all around. Buzz gets the kill.
แล้วทำไม
And
เอ็งไปซอยขวา
T1
วะไม่อยู่
manages
ซ
to
อย
string
ซ้า
it
ยก็เรียบร้อย
together.
ดิ
Luckily so at the end there with the salvos, just not able to do enough for Killer. I thought the judge was actually going to do more from Cruz, right? You just need a point and shoot at that point in time with that weapon. You don't need to move your mouse, you just hold that button and hope to get 3 kills in that scenario. But it's a quick trade to come out actually by
ไอ้ทีมต้องได้
Sylvan.
สัก3 อ่ะ
And then some good recognition in the 2 versus 2. When you get rid of the 1, it's get on the spike. I'm going to hopefully be good for the remaining kill. And that they are.
Buzz with a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that was a rehearsed, take from Talon, but the end left a tad to be desired. No, you go into the next
โด
round
นั
and
ดลาวครับ
that is
แล้ว
a
ต้องให้
straight
เจอนะ
shot
ต้องเจอนะ
shot
เจอแล้วเรียบร้อยโดน
takedown
กระทืบครับ
count.
อันติที่เหี้ยที่สุดในเกมเหมือนกันอุ้ย
Okay.
Not too bad. Does find one. You got the wall up though.
And one of the dimension, one of the kill contract 2.
So if you can find something up from heaven, then you might have a real round at your hands. He's gonna try.
No shield though.
Looks for some vision, but yes, no shield. Certainly the kill contract will give him something.
Oh, he's gonna use
Pops
it.
off, and there we go. It's Gulag time.
Cruz, can he win it?
He's gonna be the
มาดี
contender
ไม่มี
this
เกาะ
time.
มาดี
Here
สั
comes
ต
a
ว์
new
ไม่มี
challenger.
เกาะ
Looks to knock
เว้ย
him
ไม่เท่า
out,
ไหร่
and he
นี่หว่า
does. Cruz striking a
อ้าว
man's heart.
เฮ้ยเพื่อนทำอะไรอยู่อ่ะ
Playing off of the position. Salvo's then coming in, Izu sticking it to halfway, sacrifices his life for it. Sylvan looking to play the 1v2 clutch, but Thai looking to deny. It's not quite coming through, and it's all for Kill. What a swing! He does it at the last possible second, winning the round in a nick of time.
Yeah, talk about close haircuts. I gotta say, good shot out from Killer at the end of that one to not Nicky ZR. I mean, it gets a little bit awkward. Cruz finally winning a duel in the kill contract, but with no shield. I mean, if the shield was there, I think Meteor probably wins that one, right? Good to get a cheeky shot on towards Jet Boys there. Remainder of the round, though, I mean, you gotta say, so close. Dai almost giving an opportunity for Sylvan to come out with that at the 1 versus 1 at the end. Credits though, let's have a check-in. Where art thou, T1? Where art thou, money? Just Meteor on the Vandal.
Wherever for art thou.
เ
ไอจังหวะไอช็อตห้ามโดนนะถ้าโดนโกรธจริงมึงเล่นแบบไปเป็นฝูงเป็นพักเป็นพวกได้ไหมล่ะแล้วมึงก็เทรดกัน
ได้
Buzz
เนี่ยเอาดิเอามาก่อนเลยเอายี่นี่ก่อนเลย
Which means it's
นั่
space
นแหละ
now
แค่
for
นั้นแห
Talon.
ละ
That special
ไป
delivery is going somewhere
ย้ำก
special.
ระทืบ
Outside
เดิน
the
เข้าไป
map.
มามึงก็ไหวเอา
Really got to see T1 come away with a cheeky round here. Stacks one away from Hunter's Fury.
เอายี่นั่นแหละ
Buzz, Dimensional Drift, if he can try and get in any sort of favor to use it.
โดนนะแหลมมาโดนนะ
Kill, a weapon stolen, or Stacks, yeah.
Nice try.
รอบวกทำงานสวยตายหนึ่ง
Quickly dealt with as Buzz swings out. So some information for
แค่นั้นแหละ
Talon
แยกหนึ่ง
to then
กำลังดี
decide on
ฮะ
the site.
And where do you want to kind of go here as Talon as well? You know, the C site where you just pinged out the Cypher, what utility do you expect Izu to potentially have? Well, he's still holding all of it, doesn't matter because he's now going to be a pretty butterfly.
เฮียจ่ายไปเลยแค่นั้นแหละแค่นั้นแหละ
Just next
ไอ้
stage
เฮีย
of
เอา
evolution.
11เว้ย
While you got the wall up, the Armageddon also.
จ่ายไปเลยที่คุยไงที่คุยกันน่ะ
Retreat for T1. So
หนึ่งวินน่ะ
possible runway
จะ
for
เสีย
them
อี
to
โคไม่ได้แล้ว
just retake.
Oh,
Wait,
you've already used the Dimensional Drift, remember?
Which makes it a little bit more difficult. Still got to work against this wall. Blindside out from Buzz. Oh, quickly dodged by Thai, who finds the double kill to bring Talon back up to, well, 11.
Yeah, Talon's game plan against T1 has certainly been thoroughly researched and counted for, but there's also just a lot of requirements on the players hitting their shots, comboing this utility in amongst the mid rounds as well, and altering around that, right? When they get the neural theft in this sort of round, someone needs to make a quick decision to pivot towards C, to get the spike plant down, to still have guns up and not play on the back of full utility as well. They've got a great recognition on how they kind of want to be playing these agents as well, and who's playing pivot, who's switching to lurk, who's catching T1 off guard. And now this time out, I mean, it's an important
และ
one.
เสียปีกอย่างนี้ทีวัน
T1 at least safety that they're in the playoffs,
เสียปีกแล้ว
right?
Sure.
But for Talon to
จัง
come
หวะ
away
พอส
with
เอาซะ
this
หน่อยเอาซะหน่อย
dominating
นะครับ
fashion, if these are
21 นี้นะฮะ
both, you know,
21 นี้
12, 13 sixes, right?
มา
You're
เลยครับ
thinking, all right,
นี้โพสเบต้า
Talon
นะครับ
really learning,
แล้ว
and
ก็
Talon
ใครที่
really
หา
a
เพื่อน
big
มาลงเป็น
contender,
กลุ่มเป็นก้อนนะ
or
มี
is T1 maybe
มี
just
พร้อม
taking
สวัสดิการ
a
ซัพ
bit
พอร์ต
of a
นะ
step back here?
ทักมาได้ใครที่สน
Who
ใจมาเป็นกลุ่ม
knows?
เป็นก้อน
And
นะ
also thinking about the playoff top seed, but
Yeah.
apart from
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
if Talon wins today, you know,
Open
Zeta's
22 เลย
definitely going to have to
ต่อเนื่องกัน
win
ไป
their match against Nongshim if they are
Yeah,
looking
if-
to qualify.
If Zeta also want to get into playoffs, yeah. And I mean,
Did he?
T1 RRQ.
All said and done, though, right now, as we head back into the game off this timeout, right now, if T1 are to make a comeback, it has to happen now or
Yep.
never.
Buzz got an operator that's going to be sat over towards the
ถ้า
A
เซิร์ฟ
side
มี
of
แต่
things
แบบ
with
เซนบัค
Stacks
ไม่ได้
there
ครับ
to
ปีไม่ได้
assist
ครับ
as
โดน
well.
แบนนะ
So if you wanted to try and
God
contend with
damn.
anything over towards this C site, you're going to have to meet with, well, 3 members
ได้หมด
through Garage on site itself.
มีกฎมี
Talon
โอ้
though,
ทำอะไรก็ดีไปหมด
spams in the
ครับ
garage.
ตอนนี้ทารอนนะ
Buzz
จะ
gone
แตะ12แบบ
unaccounted
เร็ว
for,
ๆครับ
however.
And all of a sudden, the Hunter's Fury from Stacks confirms information, then for Buzz to spring out.
And now you got a 4 versus 4 scenario where you've lost a Senti on both sides. Comes down to the timing, I think, right now for Sylvan. What are you going to be able to do? You're hungry for it. You found one, looking for another one, but the hunt is on. The trade eventually comes forward for Talon, and they'll take control
หรือ
of
ถ้าใครไม่
Garage,
เล่นไม่
but
เป็นไร
they'll
นะ
put
ใคร
on a
ไม่
little
เล่น
bit
ไม่
of
เป็
the
นไรนะ
brakes.
เชิญนะรอดูจ่า
Park up
โต
for
โย่
a
เด็ก
moment.
กาแล็กซี่ได้เลย
Right, decent engagement. And now for a slight reset, Jit Boys
สนุกแน่นอน
looking for something else around Cubby.
จ่าโตโย่
Unfortunate
ไอ้
then
เชี่ยตาม
as
นี้บ้าน
Meteor
แม่ง
swings.
มาตั้งแต่3 ขีด
Got Buzz, who is in position now to cut Kilo at his torso.
5%
Just thigh left.
ชื่อโตโย่
And a 1 versus 3.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
going to be pretty difficult. You may expect here 30 seconds to go.
Oh,
Full
percent,
omen
yeah.
utility. Wouldn't be surprised if T1
Bit
are
of a
okay
G.
with this one to just go into a post
โต
play.
โย่มี
Stacks
โก้
is
เปล่า
gonna
ไม่
be
มี
able
โก้
to flank from mid. And the other 2 members
Go
come
up.
from C-Link.
Question
แต่ชวน
is,
ไปไหน
though,
ไป
then,
หมดนะครับ ใคร
where
ชวน
does
ผมไป
Thigh
หมดนะ
play? What's he looking for?
Well,
Bye,
it's
ก็ยังไม่ได้ดูเลยขอดูหน่อย
and that's what he's got right now. Paranoia in play available.
Trying to get into position to send that out once he has clear information. Right now, no real idea, just the drone. Oh, the slow convergent shield as well. At some point, you got to send it over. Meteor almost sticking it all the way through, but Buzz walked
ถ้าแม่งไม่
in
ดู
the
ทางนี้แม่ง
angle.
เสร็จ
T1 able to claw their way back just by a round.
Yeah, pretty calm from them at the end there as well when the drone clears nearly every angle on the site and the rest of the squad does as well. There's only really one position that he could have managed to escape to, right, over towards the A-Link side of things. Good amount of effort done with the operator in there as well as that Hunter's Fury to try and get something. And then it's just by the timing around the round, right? Making sure that the gap's kind of accounted for and expected a little late alert towards C-Long. Good adjustment from T1 on the back of a timeout to stave off Talon from getting number 12 on the board, but they're still all right. They still have another purchase to come forwards here. And having said that, already seen the operator an immediate adjustment to try and flush Buzz, get him a little bit awkward, hot under the collar, has to get out.
Yeah, good pressure. Meteor, though, coming back in to assist the team.
ผี
And that's some good leaning, but on the flip side,
Good
camera
angle.
destroyed over at C-Long. Gate crash from Buzz back towards the C side as well. So do you really feel like you want to stay around A? Do you feel like you need to gate crash over towards the C side at the moment? You don't have a picture-perfect idea on where Talon are looking to end things.
Yeah, not fully, not yet. Premi gate crashing out as
Ui,
well.
team.
Not truly
Team.
audible
โอ้
until the track gets
เต
broken.
โอไม่ไหวกับลุงทีมอะ เอา
What
แล้
more is he gonna
ว
be
ไอ้
able to do
เหี้ย
here at
หม
the
ดยุค
moment?
หมดสมัย
He's a
หมดทุก
little
หมด
bit
โศก
stuck. He's got a lot to do.
เรียบร้อย
Gate crash by Buzz as well, so both
Ooh, let's-
online. But Premi with the sudden gate crash towards the backside. He
Jit
lines them up. Jit Boys now finding
จิ
the
ม
frag.
มี่วาร์ป
and then
มา
spike
พร้อม
plant.
แฟดครับจิจีครับตาลง
Save
ศูนย์ครับ
or has to come out with a
เดินคนเดียวก็
miraculous
เดิน
1
ได้
versus
ดี
4.
กว่า
It is Stacks
Good
after
idea.
all. A fragging IGL if nothing. It's been known to find huge clutches before. Currently just spotted by the other IGL. Even with the GravNet Stacks able
ก
to
ลับมา
fire
แล้วครับ
back, this
ลุ
is
ง
not
ทีม
impossible, but it will be difficult. 1v3 and everyone from Talon, a
กลับมา
huge
แล้ว
firing squad lined up around C-Long. Stacks doing as much as possible to clear all of it out. Spotted out now
เฮ้ย
by the camera.
AFK ยะตาลอนไม่ชอบ AFK จะ
Takes
แตก
too
บอก
much time.
ไอ้พวก
Unfortunately,
เหี้ย
can't
นี่ไปไหน
stack them
หมด
up.
วะ
And that is going to be the 12th round for Talon, which gives them
No,
5 map points. Again, you know, the kind of question we were asking at half time, right, was 5 to 7 going to be
ไม่เจอ
enough
ใครเลย
for Talon on the flip
สวย
side?
ฮะ
Oh, at least enough to put us into an overtime scenario now with how they're coming out on this attacking side. I mean, this is something new, something fresh, right? We haven't seen the deadlock be picked on this map in quite some time. None of the current teams in any of the regions are using deadlock on this map.
ไม่งั้นผ่านไปได้ด้วยแบบ
seeing how
หัวตารางชิวๆ
useful it can be at times as well, but ultimately,
For sure.
A lot of the effectiveness comes from Premier. You know, I mean, it's concerted effort from the team, but being able to fake all across the map like that.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of space that they've just kind of given in towards this map now, they can really have a good amount of breathing, right? It's 5 map points. It's time to build up another ultimate to just have one of those rounds where an ult can carry you the way. These are the sort of moments, though, where it can put a little bit of a hamper on any momentum for Talon. Can give T1 some time to think in their own heads.
You never quite know. T1 did pull off some miraculous comebacks over in Bangkok, but right now, Talon
looking for แกล้งมีสวัสดิการเพียบนะครับ
We do have
ติดต่อไปดูก่อนนะสวัสดิการนะรู้มือกันอยู่ว่ามันคืออะไรนะรู้มือกันอยู่นะ
Hopefully you'll stick around, but also
รู้
just to keep your faith up for both teams. T1 again, certainly in front of the home crowd.
I gotta say though, I don't think there's any cause for concern.
UI แม่งถูกใจกูจัดอะ
fans out there. It's group stage games. They've already qualified. I think in fact drawing out another more agent talent here, you know, is a positive as well, right?
What are you talking about, Komodo? How dare T1 not win this group stage match? How can you possibly let this happen?
I mean,
they have to win every single match.
All of our caster predictions to be close,
best team in the world.
You and
จ้าง100โปรโมทร้านเหี้ยอะไรเซิร์ฟไอ้เหี้ย
we went for Talon. No, honestly though, I mean, in Coach Frost we trust, and Coach Frost, I think, alongside Coach Jovi, delivered today.
I mean, we heard a little bit ago, right, that they both kind of develop a composition for the team each on the maps. So I think in my question for Talon is number 1, who came up with this comp, and number 2, was this T1 counter?
Or was this, you know, a comp that they'll play for all the other Haven maps?
Well, that they probably won't say.
True. Can't.
Although maybe they will and they get spicy and they
sensitive
just skip the whole game plan out.
We got Pacific drama. Oh boy.
เพราะว่าตรงนี้แม่งหนักจัดเลยอ่ะ
What they're doing with the camera right now. But yeah, we got some Talon fans, we got some T1 fans all across the board. Perhaps we can get some translation. No, we don't know. Oh, it says I'll shave my head if T1 lose. Really? That's
free haircut, buddy.
That was my I get to keep my haircut if T1.
Oh yeah, what was your one again?
It was ridiculous.
What was it though? Remind
everybody. I did
it
for a fan. Basically, if T1 doesn't, well, I kind of want to set the record straight. If T1 doesn't win the entire, you know, like at the end of the stage 2 season, if they're not.
So if they don't win Pacific Stage 2.
If they do win Pacific Stage 2, I'm gonna cut my hair.
Okay, so they got to win.
Yes, they got to win.
If they win, you shave your head.
Yes.
But if they lose, you keep your hair.
Yes.
Oh.
There we go. I'm gonna set the record straight right now. It's not. I don't want to. Top 4 is too easy. Top 4 is way too easy for them to make it.
Well, I mean, if they get upset here and it causes a chain reaction for other teams, some more weaknesses. I mean,
you never know.
You never know. I mean, who would have had in their bingo book that Boom Esports would come out
beating
potentially
TRX.
Even win 5-0 in this group stage?
RRQ also beating T1 last week. It's insane what these teams and what all of these players are capable of, and that's why we all love to watch and support them. But at the same time, you know, sometimes the schedule is what it is, and it's tough for T1 to really prepare as well as they do all throughout. It's miraculous what they're able to do so far, and I certainly hope, you know, if there is a T1 dynasty going forward, that would be pretty fun as well.
Who's the best team in Korea now? Let me check towards my notes. Well, I'm trying to think, you know, who's DRX lost to T1? This might be the second loss. Did DRX have 2 losses? Well,
ข้อดีของแต่ละเซิร์ฟเนี่ยมันรวมอยู่ที่ตรงนี้เลย
It looks different. The groups are
แล้วก็
different.
กฎกติกาเนี่ยค่อนข้างเข้มงวด
Still taking a little while, but you know, we want to let our players all play at their tip-top condition.
Here we go.
Oh, sweet.
They are back in the server. Maybe not for too long. Let's see what depth T1 have in them to try and bring us into an overtime here on map number 2. They chose Haven, by the way. If you are just joining us within this map and you missed the first one on Icebox, well, probably a good watch if you want to see Talon's domination on the second half of the map. But here we go, Talon in towards the B site, rapid quick.
Oh, it's the same strat, looking for the quick
แล้ว
plan.
ทีเผลอเลย
This time not a judge in the hands of Cruz though, but you also have the wall.
ทีวันยังไม่ทันตั้งตัวเลยแล้วไปหนึ่งครับตายและแย่แล้วครับแย่แล้วครับปิมมี่เอาอีก1-2-0 GG แล้วออกต่ำแนบโดนแดกครับ
Slow shield push, and Izu goes undetected. Buzz then finding the shot. Cruz still staying tucked in. The sonic sensor does trip. Zero theft coming over, and now they've seen Cruz. Buzz watching the angle, trying to lock it in. He does get the shot. Possible for T1 to turn this back around.
Oh,
until Brimmy lands the burst. Just a 1v3. Buzz, he's trying to stay alive. Primmy's trying to mark him. He's trying to block him. Buzz looking for the defuse. Oh, but he gets this crazy flick. Not to any avail though, because Killua and Gang able to swing on a dime, and it's 13-7 at the end of it. Talon make it through the playoffs.
Talon have
กันนะครับก็ใครที่ชอบคลิปนะฝากกดไลค์นะครับกด Subscribe นะครับผมก็จะได้เป็นกำลังใจในการทำคลิปต่อๆไปนะครับขอบคุณมากครับ